Hello everyone, Helen here. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. I am okay. And I have got quite a selection of things to chat about today. So a bit of crafting, an update on my big quilt, and a little bit of knitting, and some other things. Vikings, a bit of baking, and a little bit of nature as well, and some piano thrown in as well, a couple of new piano pieces. So quite an assortment of things. But anyway, welcome everybody, and it's lovely to have you here again. As always, I do really appreciate all of the comments, and I just need to say that it is always my aim to answer everybody's comments, but something weird has been happening on YouTube in the last week or so, in that some of your comments have been going into a holding place where they say this may be inappropriate, and I've never found anything inappropriate in there. I've no idea why it's going to there, but the thing that when that used to happen, I used to put a tick on it to say it was okay, and then it would go into a place where I could easily reply. But now I tick on it and it just vanishes. So then I have to spend ages searching. I have to go actually into YouTube rather than my creator area and scroll down all through the comments and try and find your comments. So if you ever comment and I've not replied for some reason, it is completely unintentional. It's just that I haven't managed, it's disappeared and I haven't managed to find it again. So I am sorry if that has happened to you, but I do reply to everybody. It's one of the things that I like to do. So anyway, so back to my chat for today. So let's do my knitting things first before I get onto my quilt. And the first thing is the little water bowl, which I showed you a couple of weeks ago, and I told you that I was making her a little raincoat, and that's now finished. And so here she is with her little raincoat with a hood. I love this hood. I love the way it has little holes for the ears. Those little ears poke out. I mean, I don't know if she minds having wet ears. I suppose she doesn't mind wet anything, really. She's a proper water vole. She doesn't mind getting wet all over. Anyway, that's beside the fact. So it's a lovely little pattern. It's took me a surprisingly long time to make it. It's just got lots of fiddly features in it. We have I-cord edgings, and there are doubled over hems at the bottom and at the sleeves, and the collar is doubled over. And then of course you have to pick up stitches for the hood, and there's all kinds of shapings going on there as well. So I used drops alpaca for the vole and the swimsuit, and I used Knit Picks palette, which is 4-ply or fingering weight yarn, and which is 100% wool and very lovely. So there we go. So that's River in her little raincoat. Gonna stand there, not falling over. Maybe you're not. Oh yeah, I think you might just stand there. Okay, so my other knitting project that I've been working on, well, I told you a little while ago that I was trying to find a pattern to make from the wool that I bought when I was on Iona. So I bought these two colours that reminded me of the sea, and I had in my head that I wanted to make some nice warm mittens. And some of you gave me some lovely suggestions for other things as well, so shawl and cowl, but I definitely must have had my heart set on mittens. But one of you gave me 3 suggestions for mitten patterns. I had looked and looked on Ravelry and couldn't find a pattern that I liked, and lovely lady Margaret, thank you Margaret, not my friend Margaret from Skye, a different Margaret, suggested 3 patterns, and when I looked at one of them, it was exactly the picture I'd had in my head of the kind of mitts that I wanted to make. So I wanted them to have a pattern on them that was going to reflect the sea. So like something wavy, you know, curves and things. And this one was just perfect. So I made my first mitten, and probably calling it a disaster is too strong a word, because when you see it, you'll think, what's wrong with that? It just looks like a mitten. So I'll show you it here. So here it is, the first mitten for my right hand. Well, there are definitely lots of bad things happened with this mitt. First of all, this I called cast on, which I realised too late that I'd used a needle that was far too big. It did say to use a bigger needle, but I used one that was far too big. I don't know what I was doing, really. So again, I mean, it would be okay. It's not a serious, really serious problem. And if I block that, you know, it doesn't matter. Just that I know that it was wrong. Then I found there was a big hole here. That was before I'd even got up to the thumb, so it wasn't that. I've no idea how that hole appeared. And of course that wasn't really serious because I could just sew it up. But I wasn't very happy about that. And then when I got to you have to leave stitches on hold for the thumb, and you do that second if you haven't made mitts before. And so when I got onto the body of the mitten, there was part of the pattern that goes round here, was 8 rows, and it said to do those 8 rows 3 times. And so I was trying it on, and when I'd done it twice, when I'd done the 8 rounds twice, I was trying to decide whether to do it a 3rd time, but I wasn't sure if it was actually going to be long enough. So I did the pattern for the 3rd time, those 8 rows, but it is actually too long. It's far too long for me. I did try to account for, you know, finishing off the top of it, but anyway, so it's too big, and that's not the end of the world, because, you know, you can, I don't know, I just didn't like it, didn't feel comfortable anyway. And then the other thing, well, no, not the only other thing, another thing with it was that there was a slight omission in the pattern, in the key telling you the symbols that were on the chart that I was following. It suggested that to do the decreases at the top, that every decrease was the thing called an SSK, slip one, knit them together, or what I used to know was knit 2 together through the back of the loops. I think it's the same thing, not sure. At some point that instruction changed. Anyway, and I thought while I was doing it, surely it should be SSK one side and knit 2 together the other side. And indeed, it really should have been that, because now it looks different on each side. So the SSK side and the knit 2 together side don't look right. I mean, they're decreased, obviously, but they're not symmetrical, and I don't like that either. And then the final thing was when I came to do the thumb. So I got so far up the thumb, it wasn't so easy. I didn't find it so easy picking up these stitches, but never mind, I did it. And then there's a little part of the pattern which is 4 rounds, and it's said to repeat that, I think, 4 times. Do it 4 times in all. So I'd done it twice, and I thought, well, it's going to be far too long with 4 times. And so I was trying it on and seeing, and there was only a little bit of my thumb sticking out. So I thought, no, I'm just going to leave it as doing it twice. Well, that was a mistake, because now the thumb is too short. And again, it's not way too short, but it just feels like my thumb presses down there and there's a bit of a gap there. So altogether, I am not at all happy with this mitt. And I don't know, it just feels a bit hard to think about taking it down and taking some rows out. I've got no idea how to work out where to do that. I just think that really would be a disaster. and the same with the thumb. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, so I decided I'll set the right mitt aside and I'll do the left mitt. So here is the left mitt. I've just finished that. It's not blocked or anything. I'll wait till I've done a pair. And this one fits. Yay! So this one up for my left hand. So I didn't actually do the thumb 4-row pattern the full 4 times that it said. I did it 3 times, and that's absolutely perfect. And for the hand, instead of repeating the 8 rows 3 times, I only did them twice. And again, that is absolutely perfect. I also used the right size needle for doing the I-cord cast on. Got no holes in it or anything. So this one is a happy mitten. So now I need one to match the other hand. Oh, you might notice, I don't know if you can notice that. Oh, I'll show you, hold them up, put those there. You can see the difference in size. Let's show them from the back like that. So yeah, so this one that fits me, and then you can see the size of the thumb as well. I don't know why I thought that one would be long enough. I really don't. You can see the size of the thumbs there. So there we go, perfect mitten. But I also decided to swap over the colours that were called colour 1 and colour 2. I like the look of, well, I like the look of both of them. I mean, you know, anyway. So I've weighed the yarn that's left. So there was 100 grams of each one, and I now have exactly the same of each one left, 64 grams left. So 100 grams of, or 200 grams obviously is enough to make 2 pairs of mittens. So I'm going to do a mitten to match this one that's my size and everything, so that'll be fine. And then I would really like to somehow salvage this mitten, and I could give it to somebody with a longer hand, so which means I wouldn't need to do anything about this top half. But I really would need to change the thumb size. And I don't know, does anybody know any YouTube video that tells you how to do that? I'm just worried that I'll take that out and then I won't know where to pick up the stitches again and I'll make a mess of it. I don't know. So anyway, that's just going to have to sit around for a bit until I am brave enough to try and do something about it. But anyway, there we go. So, but I am looking forward to having a matching mitten, and it's going to be really, really warm, because if you don't know, when you use two different colours of wool, you have a double thickness to the glove, because you've got all of your wool that the colour that you're not using comes round the back, so you do get double thickness. And that is, that wool was made from the sheep on Iona, who are used to very cold and windy weather, so I know that's going to keep my hand nice and warm. Anyway, so that's that. Right, quilt now, my quilt update. So a couple of weeks ago I showed you the start of my very first quilt, which I'm going to sew all by hand. And I had made, I showed you the design, which it's going to consist of alternating 9 patches with 7.5-inch squares, which are either camphor stitching or just kind of embroidery. I'll show you in a minute. And I did show you the first 3 of my hair camphor stitching, and I've done some more, and I am making good progress here. So this is my little pile of the ones that you haven't seen yet. And I think I forgot to say last time that the 9 patches, I am doing them with a method that's called hand piecing, which doesn't use paper shapes for you to tack your fabric to. That's English paper piecing. But I'm just doing it by matching up the lines that are drawn on the back of the shapes, and a dot in each corner that you have to line up carefully. And so, but I'm very excited that this first 9 patch Was given to me by my lovely friend who's been helping me and is continuing to help me with this quilt project. I'm so excited to have that as part of my quilt. She also sent me some bits of fabric as well, so I've got a few more mice and hares and rabbits and some music as well. So yeah, so I have made, since I last saw you, I've made 7 more 9 patches. So rather than hold all of these up, I'll just show you some photos now. And my first ones are not as neat as the ones that I've done most recently, and that's because, on the advice of my expert friend, instead of drawing around the shapes, the templates with an erasable fabric pen, I am now using a fine pencil. It's one of these retractable ones, so that you get much greater accuracy. And if I just show you photos now, a couple of photos of how well these squares line up now. They didn't line up properly in the first ones that I made, but now I am very proud of how neat some of these are. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're slightly out. It won't affect the overall quilt, because when I have all of these 9 patches and other squares, I'm going to have strips in between, so that these haven't got to actually match up with some of the small squares. So yeah, so there we go. So that's those 9 patches. So I've got 10 now, and I just need 18, so 8 more to go. And then the camphor hairs that I'm busy sewing, I need 5 of those, and I've finished all 5 now. So I showed you 3, and now I have got this one, and I'm using templates that come from the book by Angela Damon called A Drove of Hares, and which basically is just the outline of the hair. Actually, this one did give you a wavy line here for the hills, but otherwise everything else I just decided on the background myself. So this one I decided to do some, for the hills, the grass, decided to do some stitching going in different directions, and I think that works really well, just in some different shades of green mostly. And then I wanted a nice big shiny moon in the sky, so I've used some silver threads for those, and just in circles. And then I've done seed stitch for the sky, just in different shades of blue. So I love that one. And then the other hair one that I've done, again, the template was simply for the hair itself. There was nothing else in it, so I had to decide on the background. And I decided that this hair would be a winter hair, and so that's why I've done some kind of white hills down below, and he's flying through the air, leaping through the air. I embroidered circles on his body, given him a little outline of silver thread. Well, I don't think I've said about the threads. I'm using a combination of cotton perle size 12, which is the thinnest cotton, and then just normal stranded embroidery threads. The sky I've just done in straight stitches across, and I'm not worried about them maybe not being perfectly straight. Every now and then, as I was working my way down, because I kind of started from the top, I drew a very light line across to make sure I wasn't going to start sloping down. I'm purposely doing different stitch sizes. Some of them are a little bit wonky, but honestly it doesn't matter. I just wanted the overall effect of a night sky with maybe little patches of cloud and things in. So yeah, so that's lovely. I really, really love that. So that's for 5 of the 7.5 inch squares, those hairs. And then the other 12 that I need to make, I am using some templates that I bought from Jilly Makes on Etsy, which are 12 little pictures of mice through the year, one for each month. And I have made a start. Well, I've done one of them. Well, I think it's finished. I'm not sure. I'll just ask your opinion on this in a minute. So what you get is, in the set of 12 templates, is a little picture for each month, and then not actually in the template, but you get some idea of words that you could, if you want, you could put as part of whatever you're making. And I'm not using those words because mostly the sentences are too long. I don't want to have to embroider too many words. So I'm just looking up words that I like and using, so I'll be looking for my own. And for September, so let me show you this September one here. I have chosen crisp and golden as an apple, which is actually a quote from one of the Harry Potter stories. It was the 1st September was crisp and golden as an apple, and I've embroidered September along the bottom. Now, I really was thinking that I would make these squares Cantha style, like the pears, and I was going to originally add some kind of a background of running stitches around the place. You can see that I've put some running stitches on the mat that the mouse is sitting on and on the book, but yeah, I don't know whether to. It might be as well I just leave it like that. That could be enough. I don't know, what do you think? So I do like it like that. Oh, I did, when I printed out the templates, first of all I traced it. I just used them the size they were and traced it onto the fabric and decided it was a little bit too small. So I'm actually doing them twice the size that they come out. I printed them again, but twice the size. That's a good size. I'm happy with that. So that's September, and I have made a start on October's, which is this little mouse here with some leaves and a toadstool and wearing yellow wellies. And yeah, I haven't done a lot of that one yet. And I've chosen the words season of mists and mellow fruitfulness because I think those are just lovely, lovely words. So there we go. I cannot tell you how much I'm enjoying that project. And it's growing quite quickly, really. It's not, I only started it about 4 weeks ago, so I'm just thoroughly enjoying doing it. So excellent. I'll keep you updated on how I get on. Right, that's enough of my crafty things for the moment, and I'm just going to take you on a little outing now. Just to a local place we've been to lots before. I've taken you quite a few times. Up to Ushaw Historic House and Gardens, but they were having a Viking weekend, so I've just made a little video of it's just a short video of the things that I enjoyed about the Viking weekend. And when I was looking at the video and I came home, I thought I need some music for that, so I actually wrote a piece of music especially to go with the video, and because I wanted it to sound kind of old and sort of like it might have been from Viking times, I recorded it on the harp sound on my digital piano. So I hope you're going to enjoy that. So there we go, a little bit about Vikings. And now on to something completely different. I'm going to do a bit of baking. I'm going to take you into the kitchen. And I don't know, some of you who've been coming here for a long time might remember that I really enjoyed being a member of the group called the WI, the Women's Institute. And yes, I thoroughly enjoyed that for many years. And then when we came to 2020, we had meetings on Zoom and I enjoyed those as well. But when it came to getting back to normal again, I just found it really, really difficult. It took me a long time to get back into doing any kind of socialising. And I just found it really difficult going and being in a group of the size of our WI. So I kind of stopped going. And then a lovely friend from the WI said, "Oh, have you heard of the virtual WI? Maybe you would enjoy that." So last year I gave it a try and it was great. I really enjoyed it. So we just meet on Zoom and very friendly people, lots of interesting speakers at the different monthly meetings, and I'm really enjoying it. But they also have some other groups on Zoom, and one of them is a cookery one. And last week we made some Portuguese custard tarts, or pastel de nata. And I thought, wow, these are so easy, and they're quite expensive if you buy them. And just to make them was so easy. And I thought straight away, I'm going to show my friends on YouTube how to make these in case you haven't made them before, and if you like this kind of thing. And they actually, these pastel de nata came about apparently, well, there's always dispute about where these things originate, but it's thought that maybe they originated from the monasteries in Portugal, maybe one particular one, although there are people disputing that, because in the monasteries they starched their clothes using egg white, so they had a lot of spare egg yolks. And so apparently they started using the egg yolks in their baking and created these custard tarts, which have become known around the world pretty much, I think. Quite a popular thing. And they're just a lovely flaky layers of flaky pastry with a lovely creamy custard in it. And actually, since I've made them, I found that some recipes actually put cinnamon on the top, which I didn't. But of course you could. But I've made you a little video now to show you how to make these, how easy they are. So I can highly recommend that recipe. They're absolutely delicious if you like that kind of thing. I know that it kind of looks like it's really thick pastry, but it's really flaky. So it's just, oh, yummy, so yummy. So the last thing I'm going to chat to you about today is just the little walk that I went on recently when it was a warm sunny day, and I came to this huge mass of ivy that was in flower, and it was covered in wasps and bees and also quite a few butterflies, mostly the red admiral butterfly, but also there was a butterfly I don't think I'd ever seen before called a comma butterfly. Oh, it's gorgeous. What beautiful shapings on its wings, and oh, really lovely. So I was very excited, and of course I decided I would try and video the butterflies to show you. And if you've tried photographing or videoing butterflies, you know how hard it is. So anyway, eventually I got a few bits of video and I brought them home, and then I realised that I needed a special bit of music to go with it, because I wanted a piece of music that would sound like fluttering butterflies, but also sometimes they're just spread out warming themselves in the sun. And I recorded it on a piano, and then I decided it might be nice on a different sound so I've recorded it on a soft piano, electric piano, on my digital piano, which I think it sounds quite good actually. I don't know. I almost wanted to make two videos to see what you thought of the piano one and the other one. But yes, anyway, and I called it "It's Hard to Catch a Butterfly." And of course, I don't mean the idea of catching a butterfly in a net, but I mean capturing it on a photograph or whatever. So I hope you're going to enjoy watching this 1 minute video. So I hope you enjoyed watching all those butterflies and listening to that very short but sweet bit of music to go with it. And that's where I'm going to finish for today. So do take great care of yourself, keep nice and busy, and I'll be back again very soon to chat to you. Okay then, bye.